It is 9:18. You're watching and listening to Breakfast with Stephen and Anne. Good morning to you.
Now, Latimer Upper is a fee-charging school in West London, and they announced this week they're going to be replacing GCSEs in all subjects, apart from English and maths, in favour of their own qualifications, which they will also assess.
They'll assess?
Apparently.
Oh, excellent. Everyone passed. There you go.
Latimer Latter. What did I say?
Latimer Upper.
Latimer Upper.
Oh, jolly good. Look, more than half of schools' GCSEs this summer were given the top grade. That is a 9 in the modern language. Katharine Birbalsingh is the founder and head of Michaela Community School, and she says these results are not impressive. Let's find out why. She joins us now. Good to see you this morning. What should we be expecting from private schools, and what do you make of them actually scrapping GCSEs and just doing their own thing?
Yeah, well, I think it's very interesting. They say that, children shouldn't be examined and at 16 it's so terrible for them. But interestingly, Latimer Upper takes in children who have been examined. These private schools have a 7+, an 8+, an 11+, 13+, and they only take in the children who perform very well on exams. And that is because they recognize that exams demonstrate some sort of talent. So they're only taking in the best children. And then they say, oh, no, but the exams that are objective and are a national benchmark that will hold them to account, they don't want to take. They only want to take the exam, they want the children to take exams that allow them to choose who's coming in. But when it holds them to account as a school, they don't like those exams. Now, which is interesting, and it's a real threat to social mobility in this country, because the only way in which children, for instance, at my school can compete with the children at private schools is to be able to do really well on these exams, and then when they go into the workplace, they may not have their accents, they may not look like them, they may not have their backgrounds, etc. But they can turn up at that job interview and say, here are my fantastic results. But if the various private schools, and the reason why I worry about this is it's not just Latimer doing this, BDLs has done it already, and other private schools will follow. What then will happen is that what will matter is the school you come from. And they'll turn up and say, well, I went to Latimer. And the job employer goes, oh, well, of course, you went to Latimer. And it doesn't matter that you have no objective benchmark for what you are capable of doing. It's just that Latimer says that you're all right, and they've marked their own exams. So, of course, we'll take you. So how is it that state school children are then meant to compete? This is a very clever move on the part of private schools to undermine social mobility. It's the privileged gaining more privilege, and somebody needs to say something. So I'm pointing this out because it needs pointing out. Now, in terms of the results, the other thing to note, everyone says, oh, well, half their exams are marked at grade 9. Yes, but if the private school, and I do mean if the private school has entrance exams, and not all private schools do, if they have entrance exams and they are one of those top leading private schools, say in London, right, like Latimer Upper, they are getting the very brightest children in the country. How is it that 100% of their children are not getting 9s? I don't understand that, genuinely, because our school, for instance, we have local grammar schools that take the top slice. A third of our exams are marked at 9. Yet only 55% of Latimer's results are marked at 9. They've got kids we never see in terms of the ability range. And all of their kids, I would say, are probably the top 10% of our school, maybe top 5% of our school. That's every child in their school has ability up here. We're getting children who have ability here to get the same grades as their children up here. So what about all of they're only getting their very, very top kids, those 9s. What about all the rest of their kids? And everybody thinks to themselves, well, these are private schools, so they must be excellent. When you go around a private school, they show you the tennis courts and the swimming pools. They do not show you the teaching and learning. Look at any of their websites. They don't talk about the quality of the teaching and learning for maths and English and history and geography. They ignore all of that. Now, for parents who say, I don't care what kinds of grades my kids get, what I care about is them having great sports fields and tennis courts, then that's also fine. Those are parents making that choice. But what I would say is that at the moment, parents are misinformed, and that a lot of these schools survive on their reputation and their name. Everybody's heard of Eton. Everyone's heard of a Harrow. So they send their children there and say, isn't it brilliant? They're going to get these amazing results. The other thing that needs doing is we need to look at the tutoring companies. Find out number of private school educated children who are being tutored. Many of those grades are coming out because the tutors are getting them.
Katharine